What if the most emotional moment of Jungkook's return from military service had been secretly orchestrated not just by fate, but by the very people who know his heart best? What if Jin, his eldest brother in BTS, and Bigot Entertainment had been quietly working behind the scenes for weeks to prepare a surprise that would leave even the strongest man in tears, as the world watches the long-awaited discharge of Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS? New revelations have surfaced that make this moment even more unforgettable. Today, fans around the globe are celebrating Jungkook's official return to civilian life after serving 18 months in South Korea's 5th Infantry Division alongside fellow member Jimin. But while cameras captured his radiant smile and grateful bow to waiting armies, what happened behind the scenes is now becoming the true story of the day. According to exclusive sources from inside Bigot Entertainment, the most emotional scene wasn't part of the media broadcast. It was a quiet, deeply personal moment planned exactly 24 hours before his discharge. The surprise? A handwritten letter from Jungkook's mother, kept hidden for the entire 18 months of his service, was finally delivered, but not just by anyone. It was Jin who brought it personally. And it wasn't a last-minute decision. Insiders reveal that Jungkook's mother reached out to Jin shortly after Jungkook enlisted in December 2023. Knowing Jin had completed his own military service earlier, and trusting his emotional maturity and bond with her son, she asked him to hold onto a deeply personal letter, a letter she wrote with trembling hands the night before Jungkook left home. The contents of the letter remain private, but sources close to the family confirm it included reflections on Jungkook's childhood, the sacrifices the family made, her hidden fears during his rise to global stardom, and her final wish for him to always stay true to his heart. For 18 months, Jin said nothing. He didn't tell Jungkook. He didn't tell the other members. Not even the Bigot staff knew until a few weeks before Jungkook's scheduled return. That's when Jin approached Bigot's senior management and said, "It's time. I need your help making this moment right." What followed was a top-secret operation within Bigot to coordinate the timing of the letter's delivery. Staff quietly ensured no reporters would interfere, that no one else would be present during the handoff, and that Jungkook would have the privacy he needed to absorb the emotional impact. One staff member, who wished to remain anonymous, said, "Jin wasn't emotional on the outside, but you could tell this meant everything to him. He kept that envelope in a protective sleeve, tucked into his coat, like it was gold. No cameras, no announcements, just love." When the moment arrived at dawn, before the gates of the 5th Infantry Division opened to release Jungkook, Jin was already there. He greeted his younger brother with a hug, a smile, and one quiet sentence: "Your mother asked me to give you this only today." What happened next was completely unplanned, but witnessed by a few trusted Bigot members and quickly relayed to media after receiving family approval. Jungkook took the envelope with both hands. At first, he didn't open it. He just stared at his young, as if trying to understand the depth of the moment. Then, slowly, he stepped aside, sat on a nearby bench, and began to read. Witnesses say he didn't speak for nearly 10 minutes. He cried, openly, uncontrollably, silently. He held the letter against his chest. He wiped his eyes, looked up at the morning sky, and then turned to Jin. He didn't say much, just one phrase: "You really waited this long for me." Jin reportedly nodded and responded, "Some words are meant to be heard only once." And this was the day. Fans are now flooding social media with emotional reactions to this revelation. Hashtags like #Jin the Silent Protector, #Jungkook Home, and #The Letter from Mom are trending across all major platforms. Armies worldwide are praising Jin not just for being a great artist, but for being a deeply trustworthy older brother who knew how to protect the emotional core of such an important moment. Some fans even speculate that this moment may later be shown in a future BTS documentary or Bigot release, though many hope it remains sacred and private. "We don't need to see the letter," one fan tweeted. "Just knowing it exists, and knowing Jin helped deliver it with such care, is enough to break my heart." Others are comparing Jin's quiet role to that of a guardian angel. "He didn't need to be the center of attention," said one longtime fan. "He just needed to make sure Jungkook's heart was full when he came home. And he did that perfectly." As Jungkook now steps into his post-military chapter, he does so not only as a global superstar but as a son who received the ultimate homecoming gift, a message of love that waited patiently through the months of silence and duty. And at the center of it all, once again, stood Jin, calm, silent, steady, the brother who kept a promise, the idol who became a bridge between a mother's love and her son's strength. What will Jungkook do next? Will this emotional moment shape his next artistic era? Will Jin and Jungkook collaborate on a tribute song, as fans already speculate? Whatever comes next, this much is clear. Some letters don't just contain words, they carry the soul, and this one was delivered by the only man trusted to do it right. The aftermath of that morning became more than just a headline. It became a whispered legend among staff, an untold chapter in BTS's journey, one that didn't need a concert stage or a chart-topping single to leave a mark. Jungkook, ever the symbol of youthful energy and flawless performance, was seen in a rare state, vulnerable, still, deeply human. And for the first time in years, the world didn't see the golden magne of BTS. They saw John Jungkook, the son. Later that day, as more fans gathered near the discharge site, oblivious to the emotionally charged moment that had just occurred, Jungkook composed himself. His uniform still neat, his smile now a bit softer, and his eyes slightly red. Cameras rolled as he waved, bowed, and mouthed words of thanks to fans across the globe. But behind that smile, he now carried a new kind of strength, the strength that comes from knowing he is deeply loved, not just by millions of fans, but by the woman who raised him and by the brother who protected her voice until the perfect moment. Inside the Bigot building, there was no grand celebration, no balloons or elaborate press release. Instead, it was said that Jin and a small group of trusted staff members gathered briefly to acknowledge what had been accomplished. Someone brought coffee. Someone else whispered. He cried. Really cried. And Jin, as usual, didn't say much. He simply nodded, let out a deep breath, and smiled faintly. Meanwhile, word slowly began spreading within the company. Not as a rumor, but as a moment of pride. Interns heard from managers. Jin was here at dawn. Designers on the visual team were told, "Don't ask, but just know today meant more than you'll ever read in a headline." Even a few close producers reportedly commented, "This is the kind of emotion you can't replicate in a studio." It's also believed that Bang Si-hyuk, chairman of HYBE and one of the pivotal figures in BTS's career, was informed of the moment privately. While there's no official comment, sources say he was visibly moved, saying only, "They never stop reminding me that BTS is family before anything else." And what about Jungkook? After all, this was his day. A day that marked the end of one chapter and the start of another. That evening, he was seen entering his family home, surrounded by a modest welcome from close relatives and friends. No extravagant banners. Just the smell of home-cooked food, the warmth of his childhood walls, and the embrace of his mother. This time, not in writing. It's reported that he kept the letter close to him, folding it carefully into a notebook he took into his room. No one else was allowed to see it, not even his older brother, who sat outside the door, quietly scrolling through his phone. When asked later what was in the letter, Jungkook replied with a soft chuckle, I need more time to understand all of it, but I'll never forget how it made me feel." Fans are now abuzz with theories, some hopeful, some emotional. Could this letter inspire Jungkook's next solo project? Might there be a future song, a hidden track, or even a short film that reflects the feelings sparked by that moment? Given Jungkook's reputation as a deeply introspective artist, the possibilities are endless. And with Jin now back from his own military service, fans are already dreaming of a deeply emotional duet, one that captures the essence of brotherhood, time, and the love that travels through silence. Even social media posts have taken on a deeper tone. Jungkook's last post before enlistment, a simple "thank you always," has now been flooded with comments like, "You never knew it then, but your mother was already writing you a goodbye. To the boy who gave us his heart, the world just gave a little back. Jin Hyung, you did more than we'll ever know. Thank you." Perhaps the most powerful comment came from an anonymous fan. "We cheered when Jungkook left for service. We waited for his return. But what we never saw coming was how much love would be waiting for him the moment he stepped out." That's not just a discharge. That's a rebirth. As the industry now prepares to welcome Jungkook back into the spotlight, the expectations are higher than ever. His musical genius is unquestioned. His global fanbase remains loyal and fervent. But this time, his return feels different. More personal, more grounded.